Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to be architects. We're taking a tour of the human body to explore the actual fundamental materials that build you.
So let's start with our really big question. What are you really made of? I mean, if we could just zoom way in, past your skin, past your organs, what's the fundamental stuff you'd find? What's actually holding you together and making everything work?
You know, the best way to wrap your head around it is to think of your body as an incredibly complex building. And if you want to understand how that building works, you have to know its materials first. So that's what we're doing. We're going on an architect's tour, starting with the most basic building blocks. Okay, so in biology, these fundamental materials have a name: tissues. And a tissue isn't just, a random pile of cells. Nope. It's a highly organized community of cells, plus all the stuff around them, all working together for a common purpose. They literally form every single part of you.
And here's the part that's just amazing. The entire magnificent, complicated structure that is your body, from your brain all the way down to your bones, is constructed from just 4 main types of tissue. That's it, just 4 basic materials.
All right, let's dive into it with our first material. This is all about the protective surfaces and linings. Think of it like the building's walls, its paint, its protective sealant. This is epithelial tissue.
The crucial thing to get here is its structure. I mean, you can see it right on the slide. The cells are packed together like bricks in a wall with almost no mortar in between. This tight formation is everything because it creates a living barrier that protects all the important stuff inside. We're talking about your skin shielding you from the world, or the lining of your stomach protecting you from your own acid.
And this is a brilliant example of how form fits function. It's not a one-shape-fits-all material. You get these flat, tile-like cells where things need to pass through easily, like in blood vessels. You get cube-shaped cells in places like the kidneys, and these tall, column-like cells in your intestines that are perfect for absorption. The architecture is just perfectly suited to the job.
Okay, so we've got the walls down. Let's move to our next material and see how the body builds its internal framework. If epithelial tissue is the walls, then this next one is the concrete, the steel beams, maybe even the plumbing. This is connective tissue.
Now, this is what's really interesting. The key difference between our first 2 materials. Where epithelial cells are all crowded together, connective tissue cells are the complete opposite. They're spread way far apart. What defines this tissue isn't really the cells themselves, but the huge amount of substance between the cells.
And the diversity here is just staggering. That substance between the cells can be a liquid, like in your blood. It can be a flexible gel, like the cartilage in your ears, or it can be a rock-hard solid, infused with minerals, like in your bones. It connects, supports, and transports things all over the body.
Right, so a building has to do things. Elevators have to move, doors have to open. And that brings us to the engines of the body, the real movers and shakers: muscular tissue.
So our biological building comes equipped with 3 totally distinct types of motors. There's smooth muscle for all the automated systems like digestion. There's cardiac muscle, which is used exclusively for the main power pump, the heart. And then there's skeletal muscle for all the heavy lifting you consciously decide to do.
And the easiest way to tell them apart is to just ask 2 simple questions. Can I control it, and where is it? If you can consciously decide to move it, like your bicep, it's skeletal. If it works automatically, without you thinking about it, it's either the smooth muscle lining your organs or the cardiac muscle of your heart.
So how does a muscle actually create movement? Well, it's a fascinating design. A whole muscle is really just a bundle of fibers, which are themselves bundles of even smaller filaments. So let's zoom all the way in to see this engine at work. The real magic happens at the molecular level. And it's not like a spring stretching and recoiling, it's more like 2 fine-toothed combs, these proteins called actin and myosin that just slide past one another. This sliding action shortens the entire unit, and when billions of them do it all at once, you get a powerful contraction.
Okay, so all of this advanced machinery, the walls, the framework, the motors, it all needs a really sophisticated control system. And this is the job of our 4th and final material, the building's electrical wiring and command center, nervous tissue. The star of this tissue is a highly specialized cell called a neuron. It's built for one thing and one thing only: communication. Think of it as a living wire, designed to generate and transmit electrical signals rapidly across the entire body. And every single signal follows this predictable path. Information comes in through those branching dendrites, it gets processed in the main cell body, and if the signal is strong enough, a new electrical impulse is fired down that long axon to the next cell in the chain. But the neurons don't work alone. They are completely surrounded and supported by another type of cell called glia. These are the unsung heroes. They feed, protect, insulate, and clean up after the neurons, making sure the entire communication network runs smoothly.
So now for the really crucial part. How do these four very different materials, the barrier, the scaffold, the motor, and the wiring, come together to create a functional structure, or what we call an organ?
Let's look at a pretty simple structure, like an artery, to see our architectural blueprint in action. It's a perfect case study of teamwork between the four tissue types.
So on the inside, you've got this perfectly smooth lining of epithelial tissue so blood can flow without friction. Wrapped around that is a layer of smooth muscle tissue to control the artery's diameter. Woven into that muscle are nerve fibers, that's our nervous tissue, giving the commands. And the whole thing is encased in a tough, flexible outer layer of connective tissue for strength, all four working in perfect harmony.
And this same principle applies everywhere: your stomach, your brain, your lungs. Every organ in your body is just a unique combination and arrangement of these four fundamental tissues. It's an incredible display of biological efficiency and design.
You know, this tour of our own biological building materials really makes you think. It's a structure built not just to exist, but to sense, to move, to think, and to live. It kind of leaves you wondering what other marvels of biological engineering are waiting to be understood right inside of you.